Welcome to my channel. Today's video is all about the biggest mistake that I made determining my home buying budget and 4 crucial tips that I would give to anybody that's in the process now. I'm the humble Henry. I am a high earner, not rich yet. So let's go ahead and dive into my experience. I moved to Atlanta in 2020, and after renting for a couple of years, around summer of 2022, I decided I was thinking about buying a house. To go ahead and get started in that process, I went ahead and got a pre-approval. And the big mistake that I made was just basing my pre-approval number off the amount that my ex used to buy his house. Yeah, in hindsight, it doesn't really make sense, but I felt like we were at similar points in our lives. And so I went ahead to the lenders and I asked for a pre-approval for $400,000, which they were happy to give me, which was crazy. I learned that if you have a decent credit score and a decent salary, your lenders will give you almost any amount of money. So do not use what you are offered as the basis for your shopping and your home buying experience. The other thing that is part of your pre-approval process is you will get to see different loan types. And so if you didn't know, you don't have to purchase a 30-year mortgage. You are able to get 15-year, 20-year, 27-year. There are different options for you in that process that can change your affordability and also the amount of interest that you'll be paying on your mortgage. Once I got that $400,000 pre-approval, it went ahead and showed me what my monthly payments would be based on the loan amount and the current interest rates. And I absolutely knew that a $3,078 mortgage was out of range for me. Even though they had felt like I could make those payments, I knew that it would greatly impact my quality of life. And so that was the moment of, oh, I don't need a nearly $500,000 house. So from there, I decided to pull my budget down to about $350,000 to $300,000, but that is not where I stopped. As I began to look at houses, I realized that a lot of the neighborhoods and homes that I liked were in an HOA, which is a homeowners association. Your homeowners association is there to kind of govern your neighborhood, make sure that people are following the rules that the community has set. They take care of communal maintenance and things of that nature. And so research an HOA and find out if it's for you or not. But I knew that I was likely going to end up living in an HOA that was going to have a monthly payment associated with it. So that was another thing that impacted what I was going to be considering my housing costs. From there, I started to look at houses $300,000 and under. So now we are 25% lower than where I started. $100,000 has been shaved off of my purchase price. Throughout the home buying process, I had to keep adjusting what I was going to spend. I had to consider insurance, my retirement investments, cash flow, and of course, utilities that I was going to have in this house. It was crucial to me to not spend all of my money on my mortgage, and so I focused on my net income and I used that as the basis of what I could afford. Again, when you do a pre-approval, they're going to base it off your gross salary and your credit score, but of course your gross salary is before taxes and before deductions, and so I felt more comfortable building my home buying budget off of my net income. Based on that amount, and also using my rent amount that I was paying at the time, I knew that my mortgage needed to be around $2,000 to avoid being house poor. Nobody wants to sit in an empty house, or you can't turn on the air because you're scared that your power bill is going to be above $30. So make sure that you're taking all of that into consideration. In the end, the final cost of the home that I selected was $239,000, so nearly 50% lower than that first pre-approval that I got in 2022. And I ended up putting down $12,000. It's far less than the standard 20% down payment, but since I utilized an FHA loan, it was not necessary to put down 20%. I also don't plan to stay in this house or own this house necessarily for 30 years. My goal is probably going to be to sell it once I'm ready to move to the suburbs, or I need something bigger when I have kids. And so I wasn't going to make my decision on the assumption that I was paying off a 30-year mortgage, in which case I might have tried to put more money down. I knew my situation and I tailored my decisions accordingly. I'm going to talk to you about 4 pieces of advice in your home buying journey. Number 1, get a great real estate agent, right? The negotiation skills that that person brings to the table are going to be crucial to the process. There are many elements of home buying that are negotiable, from the closing costs to the selling price to the maintenance and changes that they make before they leave. And so if you have a veteran agent, they're going to know when to push and when to hold. And they are also going to represent you at times where they are directly talking to the seller. So you want to keep that in mind. Number two, don't rush the home buying process. What I started in July of 2022 wasn't actualized until July of 2024. So I basically spent almost 2 years not fully engaged the whole time, but it took me 2 years to decide what I was going to buy, where I wanted to live, and to find the right house. Rushing leads to mistakes, and the wrong mistakes can be very costly. I actually have a video coming up of my top mistakes in my first year of home ownership, so definitely subscribe if you don't want to miss that video. But take your time, do a ton of research, and find the right fit for you as a buyer. My number three piece of advice, be honest with yourself and your agent about your budget. Don't just go off of what the bank will give you. Understand that what you can really afford based on your net income needs to be the driving factor for this home buying process. It's very easy to get caught up in the excitement of the process. There's so many beautiful homes out there, but you have to remember you don't want to end up house poor, where you can't buy groceries, you can never go on vacation, you can never have any fun because your mortgage is taking all of your money. Think about how a mortgage is going to change what you need to do. You might have heard people say that your rent is the most you'll ever have to pay for monthly housing. A mortgage is the least you'll ever have to pay for monthly housing. And that is so accurate, because with your rent, you have something go wrong with your water, your plumbing, this and that. You're going to call the maintenance people, and it's their responsibility to quickly resolve your issue. With a mortgage, honey, when something goes wrong, you need to find the funds to fix it. Don't let your agent show you houses that you cannot afford, no matter how dreamy that they are. A high quality agent isn't going to do this because it's really taking advantage of you and wasting both parties' time. But just remember, you do not want to be looking at houses that you know you can't afford. Number four, I know this is a little bit of a real estate saying, but I agree, marry the house and date the rate. This means committing to a house that you love, but understanding that interest rates can and will change. First and foremost, you of course need to make sure that the house is in your budget, but refinancing is often going to be an option down the road. Rates are always changing, and so don't let a higher rate necessarily discourage you if you find your dream home, but again, make sure that it's in your budget is the most important thing. There is so much to be navigated in the home buying process, so I hope that this video was a little bit helpful and you can understand how my journey went from thinking I was going to be in a $400,000 house to buying one that was $239,000. Thank you for watching this far. Definitely leave any comments or questions that you have for me below. Give us a like and subscribe, and I promise I'll be back with more for you soon. Thank you. Bye.